A significant amount of effort went into creating the 2024 Alpine A290F hot hatch by Renault, a vehicle that celebrated the well-known French brand that has won 24 Hours of Le Mans, Formula One races, and rallies. Following the successful resuscitation of the Renault 5 as an electric car in 2024, the French automaker proceeded to unveil the high-end hot hatch F, the Alpine A290. The new model was packed with features that were unusually detailed and precisely fashioned by Alpine, and it brought over the best elements from its less performing 5 and other Renault and Alpine versions. In addition, the French team boasted that, save for the battery pack upon launch in the summer of 2024, every component of the vehicle was made in their nation. With the exception of a few models, Renault has not been particularly eager to offer independent suspension to its consumers since the 1980s. The new electric hot hatch was built on a brand new chassis with this feature. Even while the car didn't perform all that well, especially for a fast 5-door F, it had some unique elements that gave it an attractive appearance. The Alpine A290 had trapezoidal headlights up front, which were inspired by the Renault 5 of the 1970s and 1980s. It also has another pair of lamps installed in between them. Each of these has an X-shaped LED running light for daylight hours. These X's looked like the duct tape used on rally vehicles in the 1970s to keep the fog lamps and headlights intact in the event that they were struck by rocks. The car maker fashioned a wide, glossy black air intake with a mesh design reminiscent of a snowflake lower on the apron. The 2024 Alpine A290 profile showed that it was largely shaped like the Renault 5. It also had flared wheel arches on both axles, painted gloss black, because the car's track was 3 centimeters, 1.2 inches, bigger. The forward-pointing Alpine emblems graced both front fenders. Simultaneously, the rear doors had a stamped design that was reminiscent of the air intakes found on the legendary mid-engine turbocharged Renault 5 Turbo 2 from the early 80s. The manufacturer added broader side sills, which also had a black gloss finish similar to the trimmings on the wheel arches, to further accentuate the car's sporty nature. Compared to the standard R5, the manufacturer designed a redesigned tailgate specifically for the A290. The automaker put a ducktail in the middle, below the rear window, and retained the roof spoiler at the top to increase economy. Lastly, an Alpine-specific bumper with a wide diffuser underneath was added to the bumper. The A290's rich interior elements gave it a very different appearance from its R5 sibling. The dashboard still had the same 10.25-inch display in front of the steering wheel and a 10.1-inch touchscreen for the entertainment system that was positioned above the center stack and angled in the direction of the driver. The latter, which was powered by Google, might offer more details, such as current traffic information and other important alerts for residents of places with heavy traffic. Moreover, it can cause the battery to preheat before connecting to a charger, cutting down on how long it takes to charge the car. The central console of the A290 has 3 transmission buttons, in contrast to the R5. The R5 had those controls mounted on a stalk that was fastened to the steering column, but these were retained from the Alpine A110. In front of the driver was a brand new, flat-bottom steering wheel with dedicated driving mode buttons and a red boost button, among other features. Alpine went with front-wheel drive instead of RWD hot hatches, in contrast to other manufacturers. Furthermore, the batteries were positioned beneath the floor, meaning that when the A290 was launched, it had the biggest trunk in its class. There were 2 power ratings for the engine under the hood, 180 PS, 178 horsepower, and 220 PS. 217 horsepower, which were carried over from earlier Renault models.